Hey guys, this is Stormbox, and up there we have Pack. You don't have another syllable.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, we're gonna jump straight in. So we're gonna hear this high impact stuff. We have Dragon Link, Invoked, Old Lake, Dogmatica, Kitkat, and Dinosaurs. Now that we covered the matchup, just remember to check out Pack's channel if you haven't seen part 2. I have part 1 and 3. He has part 2. I know we're bouncing you guys back and forth, but let's just say, share the love.
Yeah, and you guys know where to go now for all your needs, right? So we have the hand traps for you guys. We have the high impact stuff. So you guys have cheat sheets everywhere now, so you don't have to go digging around like the times within like the video. So.
Yeah, and so anyways, don't forget to go subscribe to Pack's channel. All right. He's maybe he'll join us next time on another Ultimate Counter Guide. These things take forever to do, and I appreciate you guys for giving us the watch time. And of course, Extravaganza should be tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
that's gonna be exciting, guys. I'll see you guys there. I'll be playing as well. I'm sure Tombox might make an appearance if he's not judging. So
I'm not judging this one because it's my wife's
Okay.
birthday the weekend.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's why I didn't sign up to judge or play. Okay, well maybe I'll show up. Maybe I'll show up for one day. And just one last plug, guys. Just one last plug. If you guys want to win the Trish mat, hold on a second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna show you guys the Trish mat. You guys want to win one of these? That's right. You want to win on that structure deck tournament, guys? Check out the structure deck video where I kind of break down the meta. I mean, one guy watched the video. He actually won like twice.
Yeah.
7 people won from that video giving them advice.
Yeah. I thought that video was amazing, and like I'm honestly a big fan of the Trish playmat. So I think you guys should definitely go check it out. No, like I think you guys have to understand how like structure deck formats are very different than modern, but there's a lot of really cool like takeaways you can have. So
and
I
having
really
that
like
meta broken down for you? What? No one's ever done that.
I was like,
no
I know, I was
one's done
like,
it.
wait, what? I can't believe like Tombox did this. Like he's just basically giving away free playmats. People will watch it.
Yeah,
like,
it was pretty insane. That was really cool. Okay, plugs aside, let's do this. Let's begin. Okay, this is something that you really wanted to talk about. We're gonna start with Kaiju and free drop across the matchups here. So Kaiju's obviously very good, but
so yeah, Kaijus I would say are okay because they only get rid of one issue. If you Kaiju Erratic Seal, they still summon. If you Kaiju Savage, they still have 2 bounces. So like it's never enough. However, regarding free drops, right? So we think about Pank. We also think about Alpha, a very forgotten card. I think Alpha is amazing into the Dragon Link board because it also plays around 2 disruptions. So what I mean by this is you go Alpha, you go battle phase, they're gonna try to bounce it, right? And then you just summon it again in main phase 2. The other interaction is you go main phase 1, you summon it, activate Alpha effect, right? The thing with Alpha effect is, they don't really have like negation and destroy effects. They only have negate, which is like in the form of Savage, right? Which doesn't destroy the card.
just a pure negate and that's it.
And that's it. So under that instance, if they negate it, then you just go battle phase and you try to attack the Erratic Seal, and they bounce the Erratic Seal, you just summon it again in main phase 2. So that card just eats interaction, and I think it's a really good card to the Dragon Link matchup, paired with other board breakers. So I like it.
All right. Versus Invoked Shadal. I guess Kaijus will always have some level of value against like any sort of negator. Like if you're taking away like a Savage or a Mechaba, it's good. It's always good. There's nothing really bad about like a 1-for-1 trade for something that's going to disrupt your combat. In fact, disruption is always worse because you're trading a card for them getting their intended effect, and I think it's always going to be nice. And you can also Kaiju away a Winda, which is nice. You can Kaiju away a Kaliga, which is also nice because you can't play under that Kaliga, man. It is difficult. If they're gonna boost up its defense, you can't run it over, and most board building requires some form of I guess effect activation. In that case, you will be pretty boned. Kaliga is such a big part. I think more and more people are going to pick up on it. Like not everyone has to go into a Dragoon. Kaliga does make people feel a lot worse sometimes.
And a big side note is I know some of these decks have been playing Dragoon in like Shadal or Invoke package. Summoning an Alpha and just going to battle phase. First of all, it's a summon that doesn't start a chain, so they can't just react to it with L or a Schism. So you just go summon it, you go battle phase, you just attack. Like, and the thing is, you cannot Alistair Dragoon, guys. Don't let people cheat you. Dragoon cannot be targeted by either player, which is really important.
It does. Oh, Alistair does target.
Alistair targets, yes. So a lot of people have been trying to Alistair boost their Dragoon.
Oh,
I'm looking at them like
ruling segment. Ruling segment. Don't get cheesed. There's the title right there. Don't get clapped by these cheats, these chats.
Yep. So which in essence means that Alpha literally just goes enter BP, attack, and they're just like, whoa, there's my win condition. So Alpha's a very strong card. I think it's very nice. And like I said, especially into like the Winda decks, like, you know, being able to just summon Don't Start a Chain, it can bounce set monsters like beasts, right? So it makes them lose value off that as well. I really like the card.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing card. I think, well, people should be picking up more so now, especially now that we're moving into the format. Versus Eldlik and Dogmatica. I mean, it's a big beat stick at the very least.
Yeah.
It's just big, really. You can beat over Eldlik. However, it can get popped, and you don't want to bounce an Eldlik back necessarily, unless you see that unless you know their back row. Unless you know that the back row is purely like Conquistador, then go ahead and clear it, I guess, because if you need that graveyard, it really is like situational at best. But ultimately, I'm just it's
I don't
big.
think I would ever. Yeah, it's like a big body. That's it. I would never really side Kaijus or free drops into these matchups because the Kaiju value into the Dogma matchup isn't that great. You would basically do it for the Winda, if they set up Schism, and then for the Eldlik matchup, they usually end on no monsters, so you have nothing to Kaiju, and by the time they summon Eldlik cards, you know it's already over. It's just like not great. An Alpha, right? You can't even summon that card. Just keep in mind if they have like if the difference between your monster's highest attack and your opponent is 0-0, like you can't summon Alpha.
Yeah.
So just keep that. Yeah. So it's just something to take note of. So I would never side it if you main deck it like and you're playing decks like Grand Maju like Rishon, then sure it might find some use, but it's not great.
Versus Kitkat. This is kind of a weird one here. If they drop the bird statue, you can't really do anything with these monsters because these most redrops are not wind based. So in that essence, it's actually pretty bad.
It's pretty bad unless you play Godarla.
Unless you have Godarla. If you have Godarla, then you're free to play. But for now, I would say it's an X because you're not going to be able to summon it. You can't summon it. Versus Dinosaur.
This is the Alpha isn't as great because you just get booked. Unless you want to trade the Alpha into the UCT, but at that point you're better off signing cards like Dark Riddle or more. The Kaiju is actually like pretty good, I would say, mainly because you Kaiju the UCT, or you choose Doka. But just keep in mind that like even if you do get rid of one of the two, it's like choose the lesser of two evils, right? Do you want to play through two monster negates, or you want to play through a Book of Moon? So it's like okay,
pick your poison.
Just pick your poison.
Okay. Dark Ruler no more.
Dark Ruler no more. Okay, so in I guess part 2 we talked about Phantasme. So I was talking to Tombox and I said that Phantasme Dark Ruler cracks the entire Dragon Link board. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, if you Dark Ruler if you Phantasme your opponent, you draw 4 cards. Let's say the card you draw is Dark Ruler.
Oh yeah.
You can activate Dark Ruler on your following turn and you negate everything. It turns off their tidying. Because Phantasme, right, prevents targeting, or it doesn't prevent targeting, but if they try to target monsters, you can negate it. So at that point, you literally crack the entire board. And so I really like Dark Ruler. The only thing you have to play around now is Trap, which is like, it's still a problem, but at least that's like the least of your worries than, another Bounce and like another Savage. So like, I would say it's like pretty decent.
I guess like one thing I kind of want, like this is kind of off the side note here. I really like how more decks are playing traps.
Yes.
It was like such a like neglected part of the entire game until like last room where everything was forced to slow down and people were like, hey, you know what? Traps are actually not bad. And more people are more welcome to it. We're seeing that Trap BA. I mean, I went on a whole Trap ABC train because I'm like, you know what? This thing is really one card combo. Here we go. But, traps, even Dragon Links, of course, they have player traps with tidying and it's coming in the form of Dragon Maid of all things. So it is actually a nice diverse way to play, I think.
Yeah. It reminds me a little bit, still like tangent-ish, but it reminds me a little bit about like the old ways of deck building in 2011, 2015. That if you build a combo deck, you would always have cards like Torrential, Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment, right? Like you would always have some defensive cards in the form of traps. So I find that it's very funny that we're reverting back to that type of like deck building now, right?
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
Good for an old player to come back. Okay, next we have
Yep.
Invoked or Shadow. I mean, versus Invoked stuff, you can turn off the Mechaba, which is great, But the weird part is versus Shadow. If they have El Shadow Fusion or Schism, really, they can turn on a Winda again.
So the best way to do it is you bait your opponent, right? So let's say you go normal summon any dragon monster, you link it off, then you have Warlike Cigar Dragon, you activate Warlike Cigar Dragon, then they're most likely going to chain L. There's two things you can do. You can either use the Warlike Cigar Dragon to not summon the monster, but rather add it to your hand, which is really neat interaction. And then after that, you can like Dark Riddle them, right?
Yeah.
So
timing.
So it's just like good timing. It's just like baiting. If they end on a double Winda, you only draw one Dark Riddle, you're probably losing. But they need a very specific hand to do that. So
okay. So it's still not bad, but don't shotgun the card.
Don't shotgun
the card.
Never trade that into the Mechaba, to be honest.
Versus Eldlik and Dogma, let's just put an X here because
just X there, yeah, no brainer.
They don't play any monsters really. Versus the bird, it's pretty good.
It's really good.
It's really
so
good.
You better draw the Solemn Judgment because the bird deck size into that. Or if they play the Oath, they can stop the Dark Lord no more. So just keep that in mind because Oath can negate any spell or trap if they control a Beast Warrior, Winged Beast, and a Beast. So,
I mean, you can read the board.
One of each.
I bet you can read the board on this because you'll see all those pieces there, and then you can try to crack the board by forcing a normal summon and try to beat into it. But you better have a main phase 2 follow up, or else it will be for nothing. It will be for nothing if that happens. But overall, no, it's still not bad because you turn off like what 3 different interactions right there for just one card. No statue, no Ancient Warrior, no Link Kuribo. And maybe even like later on, no Simorg. At least Simorg should be dead by then. If it's not dead, you have a problem.
That card's insane.
Versus
Dino, oh my goodness, this card's insane, right? I actually side Dark Riddle no more going first and second to Dinos because Dino's very good at breaking your board. And after they break it, you want to be able to Dark Riddle them on the following turn. It sounds counterintuitive, but that's something that I was doing when I was playing Prank Kids into the Dino matchup. It's just that like the Dino is very infamous for just cracking and picking apart your board. So you want to have that like cards like Dark Riddle in the hand to make sure that if they crack your board, you don't lose to like Dolka UCT, So
okay, no, makes sense.
First or second, this card is just really strong.
No, makes sense. Then we have Mass Clears, Lightning Storms, Evenly Matched, Feather Duster. These cards are notorious for making people pretty salty. But nowadays, you can dig into it. You're likely going to see these cards more often because of Pot of Prosperity. Like digging 6 cards increases the consistency of a card about 33% to see it or something like that. I don't know. It's some really high number. Like it increases like significantly.
Even higher. Yeah, it's even higher because you draw 5 cards, and after that you have 35 cards left in your deck. So you're doing 6 out of 35 instead of 5-6 out of 40. So it's even crazy.
Technically you're doing 11 cards out of your 40 because you're seeing that many cards. You're seeing that many cards.
Yeah, the first 29 cards are being the first 11.
First 11 cards are you're gonna be able to see. So your odds of seeing your card is very likely, which is actually kind of a nice thing. I mean, you're trading away some of
potential to kill, I guess.
Yeah, your potential to kill or some of your future utility for utility now.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So so versus Dragon Link, Lightning Storm.
It's okay. Baits and negate.
It's this.
It's like 1 for 1. Yeah. It's like
you need something else to follow up with it, or else it's no good. Evenly matched, same idea. Like evenly matched is actually kind of not that great because they'll still sit on something. They might trade away their Savage and sit on the Hieratic Seal.
It's not great because like what they'll do is they'll just chain Seal and they'll bounce back their War Legacy or their Field Spell, and then they'll banish like random stuff, and then at the end of the chain they'll just summon off Seal, right? So
evenly matched is actually just not ideal. Lightning Storm you can bait and negate, so it's like a kind of a 1-for-1 trade. Feather Duster, you're only really just hitting. It's a neg at the end. It's a neg at the end because if you hit the tidying, they're just going to revive a chamber and you're still down a card. Yeah, it's the other two are bad. So it's mainly Lightning Storm to trade 1. Then there is Invoked. Invoked there's not really too much, but if they're playing Invoked Shaddoll, Schism, all the stuff really matters. You can bait stuff out early. Problem with the back row though, still, I mean, you're turning off, say, like the Schism, but you're really just you're forcing it, and they're going to activate it.
Yeah, having them summon window early is actually more problematic than you would think, because you know, if you normal summon and then you link off, there's no window for your opponent to like respawn except in that period when the normal summon is successful. So having them summon the window early is like actually worse for you more often than not, to be honest.
So I don't really feel like it's that great. Like the interaction doesn't feel very nice. I'm like, oh, but I can wipe the card out early. No. It's like, where do you stand at the end of that interaction is where it comes in. So ultimately, against these particular matchups, it's actually not that great.
Not that good. I would say evenly matched might be decent, because if you try to go into the battle phase, remember they can't schism in battle phase. So you kind of like put them on the, like, you know, like they're going like thinking.
Oh, you're like, oh, like, I'm going to activate it. But again, you're forcing them into something, and they might actually just sit on that window at the end.
Yeah.
Which is...
But yeah, if they sit on window, so at that point, that's totally still fine, because they lose their whole board, including their schism, so they lose recursion.
That
so
is the
like
part.
Not the worst. But yeah, I would say evenly match is like decent. But I mean, obviously, guys, if they're playing the Trap Shit All version, yeah, I mean, LS, evenly matched, Dusters, like good cards. So
yeah. Okay. Next, we are going to move into okay, you know what? Let's just put a check here. It's
okay. Yeah, I mean,
these are blow. This is a straight up just blowout right now. Like they just lose the game. Kitkat Lightning Storm is actually not bad. You can wipe their board.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not statues in defense mode, so you can
defense.
But it
what's cool about
yeah,
it forces out their rendezvous. So when you LS them, they're gonna rendezvous to protect all their cards from being destroyed. It's like Bailings. So now all you need to do is just go to battle phase and attack one thing. So it's like decent. Evenly matches pretty good against that deck. Because they will just keep barrier statue, but then they'll lose everything else. So and the thing is, people forget that the barrier statue is actually very awkward for the bird deck to play under too. It's like not easy. Sure, Ags are dark. They have to summon cards like Doom Eagle. Like, you know what I mean? That's like it's not optimal. So
yeah, it's
yeah.
Next, Dinosaurs. It's kind of weird for Dinosaurs because like they do want to like the monsters that they leave behind for evenly match is, well, obviously they're really good. Like it's a UCT, a Dolka, something like that. I mean, leaving it on board, they still have an interaction with you later on, but like it's okay to clear off. It does simplify the game state, which is still in its own right worth it. Lightning Storm, only do it during the main phase 2 if you can. You should probably wait, because that way the misc won't work anymore and you just turn everything off.
Here's the issue with a lot of these cards. Lost World. Lost World. That's the biggest thing. And if you're not playing Karibo in your deck, there's no way you're getting rid of that token, man. They'll just it's like a lot of people think they can just crash the token. They'll just protect with Lost World again. So like that by itself just make these cards very like suboptimal against those against the Dino matchup. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but
if they don't have Lost World though,
then they don't have Lost World. Then you're in a much better position. Yeah, much better position.
Oh yeah. Okay. Next we have Red Reboot. It's really no good because it's only for one card. Invoked Adult, you could turn off the Schism, which is actually a key interaction there. Do they have another trap? It really depends if they're playing the Dogmatica package.
Yeah, here's the issue with Reboot though. Meltdown. Meltdown will prevent Schism from getting rebooted. So that's the only issue I have with Reboot against Schism. But if they didn't open Meltdown, then you're fine. Just keep that in mind. Don't reboot when they have Meltdown up. A lot of the players forget. Like I've been watching a lot of games and they forget that like you can't get the activation negated. But that is a key interaction. So
okay, that's a
big watch out.
This is Pack putting money in your pocket.
Yeah,
it's gonna come up tomorrow. It's gonna come up, and you're gonna be like, oh man. Why didn't I watch this video? Why didn't I watch Pack's video? Oh, gotta click there right now and hit subscribe and ding notification bell.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a give or take. It's a give or take. Really meltdown dependent.
Most of the time is good. Most of the time is good. That's just the key watch out I have. That's all.
That's why I still check with an exclamation mark. There are contingencies. Next we have Dogmatica. You know what?
I mean,
it's good.
It's no brainer.
They better have Solemn. They better have Solemn if they want to keep playing. But at that point, you traded 4,000 for 4,000.
And you have an easier time killing them, so thank you.
Yeah, it's much easier. Versus the birds, that's bad because
terrible.
They don't really play that many traps.
Really play traps, right? So
like what? Do they play Revolt?
They do play Revolt, but very few deck lists do. Because the card is not searchable until we get the Link 2.
Yes.
Once we have the Link 2 Tri-Brigade monster, we will be able to search Revolt and all that good stuff.
That's a really good that's what Yishan kind of talked to me about while I was I guess we weren't really on camera talking about it. We were just like having a fun conversation, and we're like, you know what, we're gonna play a lot more Revolt once the Link 2 comes out. Once we get that Link 2, it's like he told me that you should totally try it. If you like playing Union Scramble and getting like Soul Charge like cards, then you'll love Revolt. Because you just get everything back. You just get everything back. So okay. Well, for now, this is the March 2021 version, guys. Look up here. It's the March 2021 version. If you're watching this one late, this is a different story. Dinosaurs, okay, they don't play traps, so let's just put. It's not good. Here.
The only time it's ever good is if you're playing against Susu and he's trolling with trap dinos, and all he raves about is torrential tribute the baby man, full combo. But for the most part,
sure, I guess. Oh man. Okay.
Shout out to Susu for that.
Oh man. Okay. So next we have Triple Tactic Talents. This is a high impact card because it can break a board, especially Dragoon boards. This is something that they're always looking out for because they don't want to use the Dragoon at the wrong timing, only for you to steal it and OTK them. So versus Dragon Link, you have it against the Heretic Seal.
Yeah, you trade 1 for 1, but here's the issue, right? Heretic Seal, the better Dino players, I'm sorry, not Dino players, the better Dragon Link players will actually wait until battle phase. Like, there's no reason to ever activate Heretic Seal in main phase 1 unless they're normal summoning a zoo. So, and even if they do normal summon a zoo, if they make Trident, that's fine because you still have Tidying. So that is just like really, really hard to like bait the Dragon Link player with tactics if they play correct. So like you would need to bait Savage for tactics to be live.
Yes.
So you need to pair that blowout card with another blowout card. So that's like the biggest thing about it.
Okay.
But here's the caveat, right? If you're playing a Dragon Link deck and you're going first with tactics, I mean, you're gonna levy them, you're gonna tactics them, bro. Like,
there's the other situation where what if you're going first? Would you put this in for the hand traps?
I would, yeah, I would put it in. I think it's just hella punishing, and then most of the time, the craziest thing about the Dragon Link board is they can crack it, but your recovery is so insane. And if you have tactics in the hand, so it just makes it so that the board they built just never mattered, which is nuts.
Something like this.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, so. Something like that. Versus Invoked or Shadal. Versus Invoked, I mean, if you force a Mecha by negate, then you can probably break something or just draw additional cards. They do play hand traps, so naturally the thing is right now people are playing a lot more hand traps that like they're not dealing with VFD anymore. So and so most of the hand traps are during the main phase now, during the board building process.
Yeah.
Which does make Triple Tactics okay. I know like two people will disagree with me. The first person that's gonna disagree with me is Shinping. Shinping never liked this card anyway.
Yeah.
The other people that kind of don't like Triple Tactics are the ones that think, it's just not good, and sometimes you just don't get to use it. In that case,
like decks like Alistair can make really good use of tactics because a lot of people side hand traps into the Alistair deck. We're talking Lancia, Ash, Gamma. I think it's like a really good card first, regardless, because it gets you access to your engine by drawing 2 cards. You can see like the fusion spells, you can see the Shadal monsters, etc. So I think it's pretty good going first. It's hard to say it's not. Of course, unless they play around it with like Lancia and all that good stuff. But your deck plays light hand traps like Gamma, so it's they have to make the conscious decision: do you play around the Gamma, or do you play around the tactics? And both cards are very punishing.
Yeah, it makes sense. I feel like a lot of this has to do with what you run in your deck more than what the opponent runs, because
Yep.
Its tactic is really reliant on how your opponent is going to choose to counter you, more so than you trying to break their board. I mean, okay, if they're playing a Dragoon deck, then it's you should.
It's very obvious, yeah.
You should probably play it because it can lead to like a complete reversal, which in that case is kind of like a counter side against someone.
Yep.
Because you're expecting something.
Yeah. If they're playing Invoked, Shaddolls, and they have Dragoon in the deck, I'll definitely put that card in for sure. You will kill them with your own Dragoon actually, so yeah. I would definitely put it in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put it like that. It's kind of a weirder situation. Versus I would like if you're going first. I guess anyone going first can consider it because especially if your deck is susceptible to hand trap, it's more so your deck than their deck. But what about going second? There's nothing really for going second here.
No, I would say no.
That's bad.
I think no, it just makes no sense. Dogma, maybe, yeah, you can make an argument for it with Nadirs and Ecclesia, but even then, it's like it's very suboptimal. Like, so it's like okay,
Kitkat,
to be honest.
Kitkat, I don't think you should run this. It's so weird because they don't really interact with you. Like they have like a Ancient Warrior. Double Dragon.
Their biggest thing is Ancient Warrior, and that's it. There's nothing else. There's nothing going second into the bird deck, I wouldn't. Even going first with the bird deck, I'd rather play Solemn Judgment than Tactics. I never want to side more than 3 going first cards in my side deck generally. So yeah, I wouldn't. I think that's probably okay.
Versus Dinosaur, you can actually base some stuff off of that Dolka. And then you can just Tactics. You can just Tactics, take a card off of them, or kill their entire...
Take UCT and kill them with it. I've done that
a lot. Basically, when you activate Tactics and you say you're going to take their card, they're going to activate that UCT immediately.
Yeah. But they can't because you will have like no monsters.
Yeah, if you have no monsters,
yeah. So more often the interaction that generally what happens is, at least like the deck I've been playing a lot is Pranks. So I would go normal summon, they'll book me, then I'm like, okay, it's Tactics, I'll take their monster, and then I start crashing all their cards. It's even better when they have a Lost World up on the field because after you attack all their monsters, you make Nightmare Phoenix and you pop their Lost World. So you put them on nothing and you put the
It's amazing.
So yeah, I really like this card, especially going second to the Dino matchup. It makes it very awkward for them.
Okay.
So
makes sense. Okay, we're going to finish it off with Super Poly, but before we do, make sure you guys go check out Pac's channel. Hit the subscribe for him, guys. Can't emphasize it enough. Like you're kind of like one of the rising stars of the current generation of YouTubers. So I don't think you guys. He's gonna be around for a while, guys. He's definitely gonna be around. So and he's got so much knowledge to drop. And don't forget to check out his stream. I forgot to plug that last time, but check out your stream.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I do stream on
remote
Twitch.
duels, like lots of like if you want to get into the game, get better, play against this guy, watch streams, lots of fun stuff. All right, and okay, Super Poly.
One of my favorite cards. I've been playing this card actually since pre-ban list, like last format. It's cards that I've been advocating for, and I think it's amazing against Dragon Link, right? Like you clear 2 monsters, you make Borrowed Furious Dragon, which is a quick effect pop, one on your field and one on your opponent's. It can, if you're playing decks like Shaddolls, you can actually trigger Shaddol monsters, right? With Borrowed Furious Dragon, you can make Serving Venom, you can make Predator Plant Chimera Rafflesia.
There's so many targets.
So many cards. It's just very versatile, very strong, and your opponent can't respond.
That's the big thing. They can't respond. Like I really want this card to go to 1 personally. I think it's like a little bit. There's just too many targets now.
I was joking actually pre-ban list. I was like, honestly, I think this card needs to get banned. Like, have they not seen what I've been doing to like Dino players? Like their UCT's a light. Like it's just I mean, so many monsters in is a light, and they make double VFD last format. You just player priority draw phase, Super Poly them, and then they look ridiculous, right? So,
yeah. Super Poly is what I would say one of the best interaction. Like even in Yishan's build, like his current build of Grand Manju, triple Super Poly because it cracks boards like no tomorrow. It's such a free kill, and there's nothing you can respond to. I mean, that's the worst part. Like, oh, say you're like. One of the more fun things you can do with Super Poly is you start a chain. You build this big chain with your opponent, and you finish it off with a Super Poly. So you basically just shut them up.
Yeah, the chain right away.
And then like they lose everything that they're trying to chain on, because like, oh, what if they're trying to like use something to develop a part of the board, like keep a monster on the field? No, none of that even matters anymore. We're playing this other game now. Like it's such a big slap in the face when you use it like mid chain.
No, it's so crazy. But here's what's even crazier when we talk about Invoked Shaddolls, right? Magical Meltdown, its interaction with in the mirror match with Super Poly. If you Super Poly your opponent's Shaddol monsters, if you have Meltdown on the field and it's your Meltdown, they don't get any of those effects, right? So Super Poly, I think, is the sackiest card in the mirror. You have to use it very well, and if you do, you'll usually win the match. It's such a unfair card. What a ridiculous card. Yeah,
no, it is ridiculously strong. Even against like Eldlick and Dogmatica. Dogmatica, maybe you can get into a... It's kind of hard to say what you can actually get into for like Dogmatica, because you have to pair with something else. But
yeah.
Eldlick, there's a new Mad Eldlick card. That card is insanely good. You drop that card on someone, they will die. It is indestructible. Can't be destroyed by battle or card effect. And can also permanently steal a monster, which you're not going to bother with because the stat line of that monster is like what, 30, 38? Yep. Yeah, you're not giving him up anytime soon. You're just going to punch through everything with that card, which is ridiculous. Even Dragoon can't kill it, which is a...
It's ironic that like Lord, the Golden Lord off its own effect can't even out it. That's just so ironic.
Can you not out it with your own Golden Lord? I thought you can target. You
can target and send it, but I'm talking about like it's just ironic that when you use Lord effect to summon itself from the grave, it's like 35. It's like such a...
Oh yeah, you can't even punch him over because oh my god, yeah, he's really strong, and all it requires is your opponent to play Eldlick and a zombie, and it's game over. I've seen someone summon it with Super Poly and Ash. Like there's an Eldlick on the other side. The guy summoned out a normal, summoned out an Ash, and then activated a Super Poly on the chain. I was like, wait, that is gross.
Wait, that's kind of crazy. Wait, I thought it had to be level 5 or higher.
Is it level 5 or higher? Maybe like I was misplaying. I didn't read the card.
Level 5 or lower or higher? I'm not remember. I don't remember.
I'm gonna look it up right now. I need to look up the Mad Eldritch. Maybe I'm like I was totally just cheating and I was just enjoying it. Mad Eldlick. Mad Eldlick. He needs to be...
What is this?
No, it's level 5 or higher. No, that guy was totally cheating. I thought I was doing something cool. I thought I was doing something cool here.
Nope. Okay. Check mark for like the...
But still good. It's still good. I mean, like the moment they activate like 2 cards, because Eldlick can't hit face downs, then it's GG. Because like they pop your card, you Super Poly them, now they have to eat 38 to the face, which is ridiculous. Especially, they can even do it into the battle phase.
They can do it battle phase, yeah. You take so much damage, it's ridiculous.
Like they think they're in the clear because they're like, on your battle phase, Conquistador, Sanguine, and then they like pop your card and be like, yeah, that's cool, but now it's game. good turnover. Sheesh. Next, Kitkat. It's good.
Kitkat.
It's good.
It's so you're. I guess if they're using it, maybe it's okay. But I know that like if you're playing Shaddolls or Invoked or whatever, like it's pretty good because you Super Paul into like Raging. So it's like good against the
No. Did you see what Yishan did?
Oh yeah, Armaduke. You
can Armaduke them, and you can do it under the Barrier statue.
Yeah, because Armaduke's also a win. Yeah. That's also a thing. I was actually Armaduking the Dragon Link board too, actually.
Yeah, you can do that too. Yeah, that's true.
So
the triple Dragon Blade, and I think the thing is, the Heretic Seal doesn't get its effect.
It won't.
Which is a huge part of that, and Armaduke is pretty strong.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the bird player are gonna have to evolve and like play around it now. Because you don't have to end on like 3 link monsters for sure.
Like you should mid combo. You won't have 3 unless you start with a Link Karibo somewhere in there, or if you're trying to end with this is the thing. This is what you mentioned. If you go too greedy, you'll get punished.
Yeah. Every bird player I've met has been so greedy. Like every time I watch them play, it's like they're doing like all these things. I'm like, you could just win normally.
The thing is, a lot of these players, they come from watching combo videos.
Yeah, true.
And don't forget, when we do combo videos, we're like highlighting, this is like the board that you can end with. We don't say that you should end with. This is the board that you can end with. You know what? It's kind of funny because I feel like I'll get into that in a second, but I'm going to talk about DMZ Dragon in a second. Just a little fun little bonus. But okay, versus Dinosaurs Super Poly.
not that great, I would say.
So you like, can't really do anything.
There's only one time where you can. It's like Oviraptor with the Karibo, or you go Secured Gardener with UCT. So like, if you main deck it, like just keep that in mind if you're making Muddy Muddragon, in battle phase, of course. But those are the only 2 times you would ever have. You need to be playing Muddy Muddragon as well. But Secure Gardener and UCT are the biggest watchouts, and then Oviraptor and Karibo.
But that's
but it's trash. I mean, it's not very good. Most of the time, it's like not great.
Well, there you have it. This is the full rundown, guys. If you guys want to get better, check out the other 2 videos as well. I know it's super long. It would have been like a feature-length film by now, an hour and a half. But this is to help you guys get better. You know, the thing I want to talk about, like DMZ Dragon. Like I know I showcased a Dragon Link combo that uses like a DMZ Dragon, ends on a Dragoon as well. But the thing is, if you just summon the DMZ Dragon, equip itself with the Buster Lock, there's not exactly a lot people can do to actually kill it. It's got 2k defense.
Yeah.
And like, what are people actually going to clear with? You don't have to go all the way to a Savage to do the DMZ stuff. You don't need to. You can actually just summon up the DMZ and equip on itself, and it's like a big problem. Like, I tested this myself, and it was surprisingly good. Like, oh, summon out Alistair. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. You're still not hitting over this, and I'm the one with the levy on the board. I'm not even making a big board. I'm just sitting on it. Like, you better have some sort of back row removal, or else you're gonna die. So that was like,
and even then, like, you're summoning it in defense, so you can't really LS it. Like, you have to be playing Kaiju to like really out the extra deck lock, and so many decks nowadays can't really play through the extra deck lock, right? You can't get Super Polyed, which is huge. You can't get Shaddoll Fusion, which is like such a huge power play. When Engine, like, you know, is so strong, like with cards like Shaddoll Fusion, it's just like, wow, that's so good.
Maybe I shouldn't be talking about this. Maybe I should not be reintroducing Buster Lock back into the game. But like, if you want to Buster Lock someone, you should do it straight on the DMZ Dragon. Don't need to do it. Don't need to make the quote-unquote unbreakable board. The unbreakable board is already unbreakable when you have DMZ as a part of it. Like,
yeah, like having extra negate doesn't really mean much, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't really mean that much. But anyways, let's not Buster Lock each other.
Yep.
But that is all I got for this video, guys. And if you guys haven't seen Pack's video, go check out Pack's video once again on his channel, where we cover all the more nitpicky, more like specific interaction that you will see that aren't these massive big blowout cards, but you will still see them in the game because they are the most popular cards in there, including Phantasme, including like even something as simple as DD Crow. All the little like nitpicky or like detailed interactions, it's all there. So go check it out there. And if you haven't seen the first part, which we talk about hand trap interactions, go check out that. And that's all I got for this video. Any shout outs you want to give, Pack?
No. Just shout out to Tom Box for bringing me on. I really enjoyed this. I think there's really good conversation. So I really liked it overall.
All right. If you guys enjoy this, smash thumbs up, hit subscribe, ding notification bell, and good luck to all of you guys at the next extravaganza. So I'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace. Sick.